So, so in the today's session, we are going to start with a new concept, relationship. Yesterday, we have completed like how to first of all create the objects, custom objects, and then how to create the fields inside the object. And then we have seen both of the techniques to create the object as well as the fields. Like now you've seen that how to create it with the standard navigation, and then how to do the same thing with the schema builder also. Then what are the advantages and the disadvantages with both of the techniques? That is also we have seen. Now let's start with a new concept. So it's like relationship. So what exactly it means by the relationship? So let me show you something. Let's go to the schema builder once again. So now here, if I bring a few of the standard objects like account, and then probably the contact or the cases, any one of them. So like contact. So you could see that account and contact, these are the two of the objects, and they are related to each other with this line. Now when I put my cursor over here, one pop-up will actually occur. It's telling me it's a lookup relationship between the contact and the account. It's telling me that there is a lookup relationship between the contact and the account. So what does this mean by a relationship? See, in several of the cases, when we inside the CRM, whenever we are forming the objects, whenever we are working on the objects inside the CRM, we probably require this, that we require to associate two or more than two objects, because we actually require that certain operations are dependent between the objects to objects. That means whenever we want to create an association, whenever we want to join the two objects, in case of database, probably if someone of you have learned the Oracle or SQL, see, we know that every object is a table. Every object is what? Inside a database.com, it is a table. So whenever we, require to combine two tables, so this is something called as joining, joining of the table. In case of, in terms of database, this is called as joining. But in terms of, in terms of the object relationship and mapping, ORM, this is something called as relationship. So certainly we have a requirement where, we require to join two tables, where we require to combine two objects, where we require to put an association between the two objects. This is something called as relationships. So Salesforce have, different kinds of relationship. That is also we are going to study, and we will also see that if they ask this in the interview, how to tackle this question, how to say that how many different types of relationships, and then what are those relationships. That is also we are going to learn. But before that, see, relationships are always, there are few thumb rules whenever we are actually starting with the relationship. So there are few of the thumb rules that in the beginning itself we should know. The first thing is that if if at all you wanted to map a relationship, I mean, if at all you wanted to create a relationship, so the relationship are always described from child to parent. That means the first name you should take is the name of the child. See, if I put my cursor once again, if I put my cursor over here, it's like in a lookup relationship. It's actually indicating lookup relationship. We'll see that what is lookup master detail hierarchy, that is. But see, the names of the object. Here the first name is contact and the second name is account. The first name over here is the contact and the second name is account. So whenever we are describing, whenever we are describing the relationship, relationships must be described. Really, whenever we are making a pronunciation of a relationship, it must be pronounced like, we first say the name of child, then the name of parent. So here you could see that the first is the name of contact and the second is the name of account. So likewise, you could understand that contact is the child and account is the parent. Contact is the child and account is the parent. So this is the first thing we should know, that while creating the association, while we are describing relationship to someone, the relationships are always described from the child to parent. That is the first name we should take with the name of the child, and second is the parent. Okay. Now, how to create this relationship? We are going to see this all. What does it means by, whenever we are mapping the association between the two objects, we should have a common child, common column. So what does it means? I'm going to show you that also. Don't worry. To map the association between two objects, we should create a custom field inside the child object. So whenever we wanted to create a relationship is always created on the child. We are going to learn these are the steps of creating the relationship. During the steps of creation, we will understand what does it means by creating a common column, creating a custom field. What does it means? We are going to learn that also. So don't worry. But out of these three, फिलहाल अगर आप कुछ पढ़ना चाहते हैं तो फिलहाल अगर आप कुछ जानना चाहते हैं तो इट्स लाइक कि whenever we describe relationship to anyone, जब भी हम relationship के बारे में बात करते हैं, it must be described, it must be tell from the child to parent. And this is the way you also describe it in the Oracle and SQL. In every database, whenever we describe the relationship, we first say the name of child and then we say the name of parent. This is the one of the rule. Same you should follow inside the Salesforce also. Now let's come to this fact, how many different types of relationships are there in the Salesforce. Okay. And this is one of the interview question also. Let me show you that. So we have written this. I think I have not written, but yes, this is one of the interview question also. Okay, how many different types of relationships are there in the Salesforce? So let's understand how many different type of relationship. And whenever they ask you this question, what to say? Just give me 5 minutes more for that. 1 second. I'll back in 5 minutes. So see, what are the different types of relationship? Whenever they ask you this in the interview, always say that there are 6 different types of relationships. Actually, there are 4 different types of relationship, but yes, I'm going to tell you how additional to that, you could create 2 different types of relationship, many to many and one to. Because see, one thing you must understand. Whenever they ask this, probably they are taking the interview of the 10 candidates. 9 of them will say, probably 6 of them will say that there are 3 types of relationship. 2 more will say that, there are four different types of relationships. Because these are the direct relationships that are available inside the Salesforce. But saying this, okay, there are 6 different kinds of relationship will actually grab their attention immediately. Because no one till now has said that there are 6 different types of relationship. So when they ask you this in the interview, I want every one of you to answer like, there are altogether 6 different types of relationships. What are those? Lookup, external lookup, master detail, and then hierarchical relationship, then many to many, and one to one. So altogether, there are 6 different types of relationships. In the Salesforce, there are 6 different types of relationship, but usually people don't know about this 3. Most of them actually haven't know. I mean, in the training also, people don't actually taught about this. Usually they go up with the lookup, external lookup, and the master detail. And that is why, I'm telling you, most of the people only know that there are 3 different relationships. Only few people know about the hierarchy. That to be only few, again, know about many to many and one to one relationship that can also be created inside the Salesforce. But you should say, at the beginning itself, first of all, give the count. First of all, immediately give the count so that, you will get you will grab the attention of the interviewer. इसने कुछ तो भी अलग हट के answer दिया मेरे को. So at the beginning itself, when they ask this to you just need to say that there are 6 different types of relationships. Immediately you will grab the attention of the interviewer, because he have an habit to heard that there are 3 relationships, there are 4 different relationships. Now, how come this is possible if someone is saying that there are 6 different relationships? So immediately you will grab that attention. So there are altogether 6 different types of relationship. Lookup external, lookup master. Apart from this, there is one more relationship, hierarchy, and then we can create many to many and one to one. Now, how to do that? This is not a direct relationship. We have a means, we have a way to create many to many and one to one. That is what we are going to see in this unit also. So I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this. Don't worry. But what are the things? It's a bit lengthy topic. What are the things that we are going to learn within this 2 to 3 days? So first of all, I'll start with the lookup relationship, like how to configure the lookup relationship, how to create a lookup relationship between the two objects, and what are the properties of the lookup relationship, and what are the limitations, the things related to lookup relationship we are going to learn as a first topic. Second, I'll tell you about what does it means by lookup dialog box configuration, lookup filter configuration. After these two things has been, because they are associated with the lookup relationship, I'll cover this after lookup relationship itself. Then after that, we'll start with the master detail relationship, and then we will start with the roll-up summary. What does it means by the roll-up summary? And then a few of the behavior related to the standard relationship. And then I will tell you about the hierarchical relationship. So what is the hierarchy? Then many-to-many, standard junction object, one-to-one, and then finally the conversion of a lookup relationship into the master and vice versa. That how to convert a lookup relationship into the master detail relationship, and then how to convert a master detail relationship into the lookup. That is also one of the things you are going to learn. External lookup relationship is something which I'm going to give you as an assignment. So अभी तो नहीं करना है आपको, but yeah, once you complete with the entire thing, once you complete with the conversion part also, then this is something which I'm going to give you as an assignment. You need to find out what exactly it means by external lookup relationship, and where is the purpose, what is the purpose to use that, what is the scenario where I should go with the external lookup relationship. Now, how to set up this external lookup relationship is as good as normal lookup relationship. It's like how to create, the creation part is same. तो आप ये cover करूंगा मैं जब आपका lookup relationship, this is also going to get covered. Only thing what what more you have to know is that what are the scenarios, when what is the use, what is the purpose of external lookup relationship. This is the only thing what you need to make it a research on that. Chalo. So see, whenever we at all wanted to create a relationship, creating a relationship is actually two-step job. You just required to follow two steps. Let me show that. Whenever I wanted to create the relationship, creating a relationship is merely a two-step job. Now see, probably, I have few of the objects. Let's take this is an example that I have, an object book, and this is the column like book ID. Second, I have a book name of the book, and then name of the book, and then I have like number of the pages. I have like number of the pages and price. Okay. So these are my two, this is one of the object I'm having with me, like book object. Let me copy and create one more object. So I have one object called as book. I have one object called as author. Okay. Let me give the names to them. So this one is actually your book object. This is my book object. And this is my probably author object. Okay. Now your book object have few fields like have few fields like ID, and then name of the book, and probably number of pages, and then price. So these are few of the fields inside the book object. Let me go with the author object. So author object also have few fields. So let's understand how to create the relationship first. Okay. So author have like, ID is there, and then name of the author is there. Name of author is there. And then, location of the author, and then rest of इसको छोड़ देता हूँ मैं, इसको अभी बाद में भरता हूँ, और probably ठीक है, छोड़ दो उसको. Now see, I have two objects. I have two objects with us. One of them is book. The second is your author. have two objects. One of them is book, the second is author. Now see, let me create few record inside this also so that we could understand this in a better way. So let's create few of the records inside this object. So let me create the records like, ID is probably 001 0001, no problem. Name of the book is like, Java Prog. And number of pages is like, 560 pages. The price is like $400. Okay. Let me get one more record is 00002. It's like Apex. The number of pages here is like 670 pages. And the unit price for each is $300. 003 is there. 003 is there. And name of the book is actually SQL programming. It's about, like 350 pages. And the unit price of every is probably $560. 00004. Something look object oriented programming concepts. Okay, alternate programming concepts. And the number of pages is approximately like 780 pages. And the unit price is probably $1, like this. Okay. So I created few of the records inside this object, book object. Let me create few more records inside the your author object so that we could better understand what is the relationship and first of all how to form the relationship also. So the ID is probably like 201. Name of the author is Ravi Kumar and the location is India. The author ID is this 202 and it's Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin, and he belongs to UAE. Then 202 is Robert De Costa. He's from Australia. And 203 is Kiran. Kiran again belongs to India. Okay. Now see, so we have two objects with us. You have two objects with us. One of them is book, the second one is author. One of them is book, the second one is author. So we have two objects with us. These are the two objects. One of them is book, the second is author. Now I wanted to create a relationship between these two objects. Okay. So I wanted to create a relationship between the two objects. I wanted to create a relationship between the two objects. Now, how to create a relationship? Now, let's go to this fact. See, creating a relationship between two objects, any kind of relationship, it could be lookup, external lookup, it could be master detail, it could be hierarchy. Whenever at all we wanted to create a relationship, creating a relationship means any kind of relationship. It's just a two-step job. Whenever at all you wanted to create a relationship, lookup, external lookup, master detail, any kind of relationship, creating a relationship is merely a two-step job. That means as in step number one, we should identify. Now, first thing what is required is that we should identify that which one among the two objects, like which one is the parent object and which one is the child object. Okay, which one among the two is the parent object and the child object. So actually we doesn't require to make any sort of assumptions. Whenever we work in the real time environment, we have a document with us. I probably have showed you this also. हमने काम किया है इसके ऊपर. We always have a document in our hand. And with the help of this document, we could identify that if at all I wanted to create a relationship between two objects, book and author, which one is the parent, which one is the child. So we certainly don't require to make any sort of assumption over here. हमारे पास हमेशा एक document रहता है, ठीक है? Now let's take this as an assumption. Okay, let's make this book object as to be the parent object. This one is a parent. Let's consider this as to be the parent. And let's consider your author as to be the child. Okay. Your author is what? It's a child object. So this is the first thing you should know. So whenever we are creating relationship, whenever we are creating the relationship, let me save it inside your drive so that I could save it. today onto you. So you store it into your folder. Relationship. So see. So as in step number one, we should make this assumption. I mean, rather we should know, not assumption. We should know. We should identify this that among these two objects, which one is the parent and which one is the child. So with the help of this diagram, I could probably say that the step number one is being completed by, because right now I know that this book object is the parent object and your author is the child object. So this was your step number one. Now let's go with the step number two. So see, sorry. Now once you know this, which is the parent and which one is the child. So now how to create the relationship? That's step number two. Actually, these are the steps. First of all, let's identify among these two. Let's identify that among book and author, which one is the parent, which one is the child. So I have taken this assumption that let's make the book to be the parent and author to be the child. Okay. चलो अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. So step number one has been done. Now step number two is what? So now you need to go to the child object and create a custom field, or rather create a new column, or rather create a relationship field. Sometimes it is called as reference field, and there are a few more names. You actually require to create a relationship field inside the child object. Now what does it mean? See, that is the point of description over here. So once I मेरा जो object है, my child object is up to this only, up to this only. The child object, which I have actually create किया है. So this child object is up to this part only. सिर्फ इतना part है यहाँ तक का. ठीक है. Let me now create one additional column over here. So this is the additional column that I have created. ये है वो additional column जो मैंने अभी बनाया. ठीक है. Let's take this. So this is my relationship field. This is my relationship field. So this is my relationship column. Now let's give a name to this. I'm giving this as the book ID. I'm giving a name to this as a book ID. So first of all, whenever as in step number one, what we should know which one is the parent, which one is the child. If you know this, the step number one is completed. Now, to form the relationship, to create the relationship, you must go to the child object. Go to the child object. Create a relationship field. That means create one additional field, create one additional reference field, create a new column inside the object. Now, what this column is going to store? And book ID मैंने create तो कर दिया, but what is it going to store? It will, going to store the parent's record ID. Parent's record ID. Now, what does it mean? See, let's take this as an assumption that let's take this as an assumption that this Java. Okay, let me go with this and this. So Java programming book, this book has been written by Kiran, and then Apex has been written by, let me go with the separate color codes. Apex has been written by, Apex programming book. This book has been written by probably Benjamin, and then SQL has been written by Ravi Kumar. Okay, and then OOPS concept has been written by the Robert DeCosta. Okay, let's take this as an assumption. Chalo. Now see, let's come to the fact. वापस आते हैं इसके ऊपर में. So Ravi Kumar has written this particular book SQL. Ravi Kumar is now associated with SQL. So who's the parent? Book is the parent. Who's the child? Author is the child. So we created one more column over here. One column over here inside this child object. The relationship field is always created on the child object. Now, I consider that Ravi is the child. Ravi is the child. Then who is the parent? Who is the parent? SQL book is the parent. What is the ID of SQL? It's 003. What is the ID? 003. So inside, inside here, inside the column of Ravi Kumar, inside the column of Ravi Kumar, inside the record of Ravi Kumar, I should write who is the parent for Ravi Kumar. Parent is SQL. So what is the ID? 000003 rather. Okay, 0003 is the book ID. 0003 is the book ID for Ravi Kumar. That means 0003 यानी SQL book is the parent of this. तो इस ये है child record आपका. Ravi Kumar is the child, and who's the parent? This book is the parent. This book is the parent, right? This book is the parent. So Ravi Kumar has written this book. That is why the book ID is SQL book ID 003. So that ID I must write it over here. Okay. Now let's come to the Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin is the child who's the parent for this. Benjamin has written Apex programming. Benjamin has written Apex programming. What is the book ID of Apex? 0002. So here the parent ID will be 0002. Okay. Now let's come to the Robert DeCosta. Robert DeCosta has written OOPS concept. Okay. Robert DeCosta is the author who has written OOPS concept. So OOPS की ID कैसा है? कि book ID क्या है इसका 0004. So here the parent ID will be 0004. ठीक है. Now Kiran is one of the author who has written Java programming. So Java programming का जो book ID है is 0001. Is 0001. Now you ask me one thing, sir. ऐसा भी तो हो सकता था. आप book को child बनाते, author को parent बनाते. I could even do that. उसमें कोई problem नहीं है. What was see? मेरे दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था कि one book could be written by multiple authors. अब जावा प्रोग्रामिंग लिखने वाला कोई एक ही ऑथर थोड़ी ना कि ओनली किरण इज ना कुड नॉट बी द ऑथर सिंगल ऑथर जिसने जावा प्रोग्रामिंग लिखी. देयर कुड बी सो मेनी ऑथर्स. एक टाइटल कई लोग लिख सकते हैं, अपेक्स कई लोग लिख सकते हैं, राइट? सो अब ये जो कंसेप्ट होता है ना कि वन बुक मेनी ऑथर, वन बुक मेनी ऑथर, दिस इज एक्चुअली कंसेप्ट कैसे इंप्लीमेंट करना चाहिए कि वन पेरेंट मेनी चाइल्ड. हमेशा पेरेंट एक होता है, चिल्ड्रन ज्यादा होते हैं, राइट? हमेशा पेरेंट एक होता है, चिल्ड्रन ज्यादा होते हैं. One parent could have 1 child, 2 child, 3 child, 4 child like this. So concept should always flow like this. Whenever we are, whenever we are converting the relationship. तो रिलेशनशिप को जब अभी ऊपर के लेवल पे आप देखो, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि आपको एक डॉक्यूमेंट फॉलो करना पड़ता है. बट यू व्हेनेवर यू बिकम दिस मॉड्यूल लीड बनते हो, जब आगे चल के आप बिकम द सीनियर डेवलपर्स एंड यू बिकम द मॉड्यूल लीड्स, दैट टाइम यू शुड एक्चुअली प्रोवाइड दिस डेटा टू योर सबऑर्डिनेट्स. तब आपको डिसाइड करना है. तो वो चीज आपको मुझे दिखाना था. दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव टेकन बुक एज टू बी द पेरेंट और ऑथर को मैंने चाइल्ड दिया. क्यों? ताकि वो टेंडेंसी थोड़ा सा सोचने की आज इस स्टेज में आपकी डेवलप हो. भले ही आपको एक डॉक्यूमेंट मिल जाएगा इसके लिए, बट हमको लकीर के फकीर थोड़ी ना बनना है. We should have that thought process inside this. We should have that tendency to ask why. If book is the parent and author is the child, why? Why book is parent? Why couldn't author is the parent? Why couldn't book is the child object? Because the reason behind that, whenever we implement the relationship, relationship mapping हमेशा कुछ ऐसी रहती है कि there is only one parent having multiple childs. So parents are only single, childs are multiple. The books are single. There's a book called as Java Programming, could be written by 3 different authors. One of them is Kiran. There's a book called as Apex, could be written by multiple authors. One of the authors is Benjamin Franklin. There are a few more people, those who have written this, who have written this book. One of the book is called as SQL book. There are so many authors. One of the author is Ravi Kumar. There's a book called as Object-Oriented Programming Concepts. Could be written by 15 to 20 different authors. One of them is Robert DeCosta. And that is why I have given priority to the book, not to the author. अब ये कंसेप्ट वाइस वर्सा हो सकता है, अभी फिलहाल उस पर ज्यादा रिसर्च मत करो. आई जस्ट वांटेड यू टू डेवलप दैट टेंडेंसी कि व्हेनेवर अगर आपको मैं बोलूं कभी कि 2 ऑब्जेक्ट में से पेरेंट डिसाइड करो, चाइल्ड डिसाइड करो, कैसे डिसाइड करोगे? कैसे? यू मस्ट हैव दैट नॉलेज, यू मस्ट हैव दैट कैपेबिलिटी टू अंडरस्टैंड कि पेरेंट्स आर ऑलवेज सिंगुलर, चाइल्ड्स आर मल्टीपल. तो व्हेनेवर यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस फैक्ट, तो उसके हिसाब से बेस्ड ऑन दिस फैक्ट यू कुड नाउ डिसाइड कि पेरेंट जो है वो बुक है, ऑथर जो है वो चाइल्ड है. तो ये एक और चीज आपको बताना था मुझको. दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव टेकन बुक एज टू बी द पेरेंट एंड ऑथर एज टू बी द चाइल्ड. अब इसी में एक और कॉम्प्लिकेशन से जो मैं आगे लेके सिखाऊंगा आपको, अभी उसके बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे हम. एंड नो क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम हियर. अभी इसमें कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं चाहिए मुझको, ठीक है? चलिए, सो लेट्स वंस अगेन रिवाइज दिस, हाउ टू क्रिएट अ रिलेशनशिप. If at all I wanted to map relationship between the 2 objects, if at all I wanted to create a relationship, mapping a relationship, creating a relationship is one and same. There were 2 objects, one of them is book, the second is author. If at all I wanted to create a relationship between these 2 objects, I first of all should understand among these 2 objects which one is the parent, which one is the child. Now we inside the real time development, we always have a document in our site, and which will tell you that you first of all create a book object, make it parent, and second, create an author object, make it child. When you are creating the book object, these are the fields inside the book object. These are the fields inside the author object. So now how to create a relationship? See, whenever we wanted to create a relationship, you should go to the child object. Relationships are always created. Relationships are always created inside the child object. Always remember, relationships are always created inside the child object. Whenever at all I wanted to create a relationship field must be created inside the child object only. Must be created inside the child object only. How to do that? So I know, up see, मैं यहाँ तक बना लिया था LOC तक. I have one additional column I have created inside the child object with the name called as, give any name, you could give any name, but because it is going to store the IDs of this object book, so I have given a relevant name to that, and the name is book ID. You could give any name for that, but try to give the relevant name as far as possible. You know, naming convention कोई बताता नहीं है. Naming convention के ऊपर generally कोई discuss नहीं करता, but I used to have a discussion on that also. Naming convention is आड़े तिरछे नहीं होने चाहिए. Naming convention, you know, whenever you name something, it should be very relevant, so that, you know, just looking into the name, we could understand what this field is all about, what the functionality of this thing is all about. That is why naming convention is something which is very essential, and nobody actually used to taught this. और ये कोई बताता नहीं, because there is no standard formatting for that. कोई rule नहीं है इसके लिए. Rule सिर्फ एक ही rule है. Try to make it related as far as possible. This is the only one thing. If you are naming something, give a relevant name. उसको XYZ ABC 1 2 3 4 5 6 ऐसा नहीं देने का. Try to give a relevant name. Try to give, so that, you know, someone while looking into this could make a relevance to what this field is all about. Chalo. So what is the step number 1? Identify which one is the parent, which one is the child. Done. Step number 1 done. Now step number 2, once you know this, who is the child, go to the child object and create a relationship field over there. And this relationship field is going to store the ID, record ID of their respective parents. Now, because Ravi Kumar is the child, who's the parent? SOQL is the parent. So SOQL ka ID kitna tha? 0003. So in this section of book ID, in the record section, in this particular column of the book ID for the Ravi Kumar, I have transferred this 0003. Now Benjamin Franklin is the child object. Who is the parent for this? Parent is the Apex. What is the ID of Apex? It's 0002. So in the row of Benjamin Franklin, you know, inside the book ID column for this row, for this record, I have stored 0002. Robert DeCosta is the child object. Who is the parent? Who's the parent? Robert DeCosta is the child record. Who's the parent? Parent is Oops concept. What is the ID of Oops concept? It's 0004. So in the Robert DeCosta, inside the book ID for Robert DeCosta, I have stored 0004. Kiran is actually the author, but he's a child. She's a child. Who's the parent? Java is the parent. Java book is the parent. What's the ID? 0001 is the ID. So for Kiran, it's like 0001. Understood the concept? This is what the concept of your, how to create this, how to create the relationship. So relationship creation is a pretty simple job. It's only the 2-step job. First of all, we should identify which one is the parent, which one is the child. Once you know this, go to the child object and create a relationship field over there. That is the only thing what we require to do. Now we are going to, these many topics we are going to cover inside this particular thing. It's a bit lengthy topic because there are so many things that we are going to learn inside this. So today to nahi, but yeah, the next lecture is coming Monday actually, because today is Friday. So on the coming Monday, I'm going to start with the very first kind of relationship, and that is lookup relationship. So what is a lookup relationship? What are the properties, and what is whenever after creating this relationship with this step, what are the kind of observations that we have seen? That is also we are going to discuss with that. So on the Monday, coming Monday, I'm going to take the first relationship, that is lookup relationship. And right now, I'm just stopping it over here.